you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Gittin Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to a special Monday edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. If you're tuning in national syndication, ignore everything I just said because things haven't changed for you. Those of you tuning in online, welcome to the show. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. We got a fun one today. Lots of personality. We got my good friend Ryan Millen, just clinched the ARA Rally Championship. And he's going to be calling into the show. We're going to be talking about that. Factory Toyota driver Ryan Millen. And then we've got, this is going to be fun, we got everybody's favorite redneck, Hubert Rowland, calling in at the same time as 4x4 Barbie. They're going on a trip in Razors across the entire country, and we're going to have them dialed in. Not only that, but I don't know, Hood. I don't know if you paid attention to motorsports over the weekend, but Lucas Oil, Missouri was off the hook. We got massive pro motocross news with Trey Canard announcing his retirement. We had rally shenanigans happening in New England. I don't know. Plus we got all the social media rankings, world's best motorsports event. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about today.
It sounds like it's a jam-packed show.
Yeah, we've got, I don't know, it's definitely going to be a ton of fun with some great personalities. So you guys hang tight. We'll be coming back at you after this commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, as we kick off another edition of your favorite motorsports radio show. Jim Beaver with Amy Hood here, and don't forget, this today we're having a little bit of fun, Monday edition, still airing in national syndication on Wednesday. Next week, we've got episode number 300 of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Now, there's a slight chance, I'm going to put this disclaimer in here, that it gets delayed by 1 week. But depending on the national network, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just telling you there's that small percentage chance out there. And then you're like, well, why is it episode 300 to be episode 301? I know, but we'll still celebrate a week later. But we'll be on air next week one way or another, but the big 3-hour show, there's a slight chance it might get delayed by a week. But I don't know. I'll let you guys know later on this week. But I will be out at the Polaris Razor dealer show this week. That's why we are airing this on Monday online. I'm heading out there. Polaris getting ready to drop all their 2018 models. And I know the UTV industry, this is a big deal. Everybody always it's almost like for the UTV fans, like it's Christmas time, right? And so tomorrow night is Christmas night in Polaris World. I think about 7 o'clock Pacific time, we get to see all the 2018 models. So I don't know. I'm pretty amped on this, Amy. I mean, Polaris, they've been like the industry leader for a while now. You know, they've got Can-Am and Yamaha and some of the others coming out swinging. And Polaris, I'm excited, and and I've got people texting me like, "Hey, what's Polaris going to unveil here?" And I'm like, I honestly don't know. Like, I'm kind of in the know, and I don't know. So all I know is Wednesday.
Something really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've got like factory warfare happening in the UTV industry right now with Polaris and Can-Am and Yamaha and Arctic Cat all going like head to head, and it's I don't know. It's been really good for the industry, and every year everybody's trying to innovate. You know, it's like in motocross. Every year, the bike manufacturers are looking for just a slight edge. And it's not like massive changes every year, but they tweak their bikes just a little bit, and and it's so competitive. And now we're seeing that in the UTV industry, and I think it's really exciting because you don't want to see one. I'm a Polaris guy. People know that, obviously. I wave the Polaris flag, but you don't want to see one manufacturer just run away with everything and then everybody else get left behind. Competition's good, don't you think?
Oh yeah, but competition makes innovation. That's what you need. But Polaris has always been kind of at the forefront of that innovation, and they've always kind of been the leader of the game and kind of set the bar and really have so much variety. And just yesterday I was swimming at the pits, and there's 3 different styles of Polaris razors out there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny too because like every single year there's like this new model, and you say 3 different types. It's crazy. Like you can almost see like I'd love to see like a shot like a 2010, 2011, 2012. Like every year see the Razor grow up. You know what I mean? Because I really feel like it'd be like one of those family pictures where you could take a picture every year and see it grow up. But no, it should be fun. I know Wednesday I'm slated to drive these new ones. I don't even know what I'm going to be driving, but Polaris asked me to go out to an off-road track outside of Las Vegas on Wednesday and drive the all-new models, and obviously I said absolutely yes, hell yes, we'll be there, but I don't even know what I'm driving yet, so I'm kind of excited. We're going to be doing some some filming out there and stuff. So have no idea what we're filming and have no idea what I'm driving, but I'm in. So sounded like fun, right?
Yeah. That does sound like fun.
Yeah.
Dang, it's like a big secret.
Yeah, exactly. This whole thing is. So I'll be texting you on Tuesday night, like, hey, check this out. I'll be sending you pictures, right? I think we might get to see what Slingshot's got up their sleeve, too. And I know you love yourself some Slingshots. So I think they might be having some Slingshot news coming out of the show, too. So here's hoping.
Ooh.
So
hopefully they come out with a top on them, so us Canadians over here with our weird weather can drive them more often.
Yeah, it's more than a 3 or 4 month a year car, right? Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, did you? I know you follow like Pastrana on Instagram, and and you kind of we had you out at the rally last year in Minnesota, right? But this weekend they had the New England Forest Rally, and I know Robbie Durant really well, Travis's co-driver. We had some fun at the bar with Travis and Robbie, and what happened in Minnesota will stay in Minnesota. But we had a lot of fun. So this weekend at New England, Travis and Robbie, the first couple of stages, I think it was on stage 1. Travis, there's a picture I posted to my Instagram. He literally launched this Subaru, and he launched it so high and so far that Robbie compressed his spine or something in the car. So
what?
Yeah, so anyways, it's the start of the rally, and Robbie's out. He's donezo. So what do? My friend Gregors, he's a rally co-driver, but he's been around Subaru. He does media and stuff like that for him, and just kind of helps run things. He's spotted for David Higgins and GRC and some stuff like that. Very, very competent guy, but he didn't do recce. He had no notes for the event. Anyways, it was either they're done or they need to throw a co-driver in there. They throw my friend Gregors in there. He takes Robbie's notes. And every co-driver has different style of note-taking or whatever. Anyways, Gregors gets thrown in there. Yeah. They literally put duct tape over Robbie's name on the side of the car. He's wearing a driver's suit that doesn't even fit him. And they throw him in the car, and him and Travis go on to proceed to win the whole freaking rally. I was like, how?
No way.
Yes. How epic is that? That's crazy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it was so crazy, too, because at one point, David Higgins is leading. Travis is in second. There's a big boulder in the middle of the thing, so David rips the right rear of his car off, literally rips it off. He drove 11 miles on 3 wheels. Travis hits the same thing, tweaks his suspension. They pull into the paddock, and both of them don't have their right rear of their cars. Literally, both of them ripped it off of their Subarus, and it was just shenanigans. Like, I've never seen a rally this crazy in my life, and obviously I wasn't there, but for Travis and Gregors to battle back for a guy who'd never even sat in that seat before, never been in the car with Travis, didn't have any notes, didn't go on recce to go in and win the rally, that's unheard of. It's just nuts. So,
and let's be honest, it's the navigation that really kind of plays a main role, like a huge role. It's more than people think it is. And I kind of learned that coming in as an outsider. I always thought it was all about the driver when, in hindsight, it's driver, what would you say, driver 40 and navigation 60?
Yeah, well, the drivers say, and you talk with them, and it's all about if you've got a co-driver, you can commit because you can drive where you can't see, and people don't realize that.
Exactly.
You're relying.
They're your eyes.
Yeah, you're putting your life in the co-driver's hands. He miscalls a note because you're going over jumps blind and setting it up for a right-hand turn that you don't even know is coming and you can't see because the co-driver said it, and I think we saw that though at the Mount Washington event. David Higgins didn't have Craig Drew in the car and for the first time in years, and he had some struggles a bit, because he was having to memorize corners by memory and things like that. So I don't know. I mean, Higgins is a world-class driver. I'm not taking anything away from him. It's just it's a different dynamic, and I don't think people realize how, like you said, how much that co-driver does mean. But for a guy who, he's co-driven this year, but not in an open class car, not for Travis, and not at that event, just to be thrown in there and for them to win, that's rock solid, man.
Well, I do think Travis is one of those persons also that trust level, like you said, the relationship, that trust between the co-driver and the driver. I feel like Travis being Travis and what he does and, kind of the no fear aspect. I think, anybody who's intelligent and can jump into anybody who can jump into the co-driver's seat of Travis Pastrana, boom, that trust is instantly granted because, it takes a lot of balls to, do anything with Travis. And then he's just kind of, I feel like with his whole extreme sports background that he'd be able to handle it on his own, He kind of has no fear. So He's like, turn left. Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, and speaking of Travis, we got to go to a break, but we got to open up the next segment talking a little bit more about Travis because he did something over the weekend that was pretty much unheard of. We never thought we'd do again. So we got to talk about that after we come back from this break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, along with Amy Hood. And I want to give a quick shout-out to my other show, my podcast, Project Action on Podcast One. This last week, we had Jason Hairston, legit ex-NFL player, started his own brand called Kuyu, basically become a viral outdoor company that makes outdoor basically backpacks and gear to survive in the wilderness. Jason, amazing interview with a guy who's built this brand from nothing. Guy's so legit. He gets dropped off in northern Canada above the Arctic Circle, for 2 weeks with nothing more than a rifle and a backpack. So you want to talk about a guy who knows how to survive and eats, sleeps, and breathes his brand. Jason Hairston's that guy, and we talk about him playing in the NFL, injuries. He fought through some concussions and things like that. So it's a good interview. Check it out over on iTunes, Podcast One, my website. You can rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Much appreciated for everybody that tunes in. And before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about Travis Pastrana. Now, so this whole thing we were talking about, the rally happened, right? So 30 minutes after it happens, Amy, Travis is literally, after he finishes the rally, he gets his trophy, he's on a private plane to Annapolis, Maryland, because they had the Nitro show there that nobody thought was ever going to happen, that the town tried to get shut down and everything else. So Travis is there, and he had said, and I love Travis, he's a very good friend of mine, but he said he was never going to do a double backflip again, right? The last time he tried it was pretty much catastrophic. And I think he did that at a Nitro show with Sheeny, and it was just it's bad news. For some reason, the guy that can do everything can't do a double backflip. It's just sketchy. And he's landed them before, but we're talking years ago, said he's never going to do one again. So what's Travis trying to do? He's in his hometown. We're going to pull out a double backflip. No practice, no nothing. You know what? He nailed it. Oh, my gosh. So I guess everybody went nuts. I've seen the video.
He's such a high from the rally, too, I mean, his confidence level's probably skyrocketed right now, and nothing but pure adrenaline for him is running through his veins. So I wouldn't even have put it past him, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I watched the video, and it was the slowest rotating double backflip I think I've ever seen. Like when Sheeny does them, the rotation is so fast, like he's got time to spare. Travis's, man, it was like it was just inching its way around. And I'm like, oh, is he going to land this? Is he going to land it? And he did. And I'm like, all right, hopefully this is the double backflip swan song for Trav, because I love the guy to death, but I don't know that we need to see more double backflips out of Pastrana. It's like, Trav, just leave him to Sheeny and the other guys, man. Like, I don't know. It's like maybe this is his proper double back send-off. He did it in his hometown in front of his family and his home crowd, and maybe that was like, all right, I retire from the double backs for reals now. I don't know, it was.
Yeah, no, that event looked amazing. Like, seeing all the social media from all the Nitro boys, and it looked like such a happy place to be, because they've been waiting for so long. They've had so many, false hopes, I guess, from every year they've tried to have it there, and it just looked like a blast. Like it looked like such an amazing event. So.
Yeah, and I know, I've been to a bunch of Nitro shows. I can't even remember how many I've been to. I know you've been to a few yourself, and it's one of those things where I think, like, these guys, they do so many shows, like it's just one right after another, and it gets robotic, right?
Yeah,
but every once in a while, there's that special show, and sometimes they've had one in Vegas before in certain places. I mean, when Bruce, came back and stomped the backflip in his hometown, and, there's stuff like that, and this was one of those special shows, and I think this is one of the special Nitro shows. So I don't know. There's videos circulating on social media. It's definitely good stuff. But wanted to we got a little bit of time. I want to talk some pro motocross, because you and I haven't talked this in a while, and obviously they had the race there in Millville this past weekend. But we'll talk about the race in a minute. But the big news coming out of this past weekend, Trey Canard announcing his retirement. I think you and I both saw this coming at some point. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole Trey Canard thing?
I feel like it's like, just like you said, we kind of might have seen it coming. Obviously, his results aren't where he wants to be. And, Trey, one of the most amazing riders I've ever met and had the pleasure of meeting in my life. Like, I've never met somebody so humble and so genuine, and, like, how he engages his fans and people. I'll get to a couple stories after this, but, I did obviously see it coming. He's been plagued with horrific injuries, obviously, in 2012, I believe it was at the Angel Stadium, where, it blew up all over the internet and all over the motorsports community. But, Trey crashing and breaking his back was just, and I was there and I witnessed it, and it was just I can't believe he came back after that. And the thing about Trey Canard, he doesn't just come back from an injury. He comes back and being off the bike for months or, a whole season, he comes back and sets the fastest lap time. Like, this is the epitome of perseverance and determination. And Trey's always kind of set the bar, but, he's always rides on the edge. And so, he's unfortunately had some really serious injuries in his career. But I have to say, I remember, like, some of my memories of Trey. I was younger. I was little. So this was me maybe being like a 17-year-old girl. I was out at the Nationals. I believe I was in Southwick. And I see Trey gimping around. He was obviously injured. I think he had a broken leg, and he's crutching around the pits. And, when I say crutching around the pits, most motocrossers don't even go out of their semi until they're doing autograph signing, and forced to stand there and sign autographs, and they look miserable. Trey goes and literally hangs out in the amateur pits and, where everybody is, where all the food trucks are. Like, he has no fear of going and, like, really being one with all the fans. And I just remember that I was like, oh, hey, Trey Canard, how's it going? And he's like, oh, you're Amy Hood, right? Like, he actually knew who I was and approached me and said hi. And from that day forward, I was a Trey Canard fan for life. Like, I was a little girl and looked up to these guys back then. And he was just so nice and generous. And every year, when I went and did the pit announcing or would just go and, watch some races, like, he always made an effort to walk by and say, hey, Amy, what's up? How's it going? And you just don't get that. And also I remember, so in pro motocross, you got to wait in these big autograph lines, and there's always like a rail guard blocking it off. So, the fans are on one side of the railing and the athletes on the other side. Super impersonable. I always thought it was a super weird setup. You don't really get that in many other sports. And even went over to Europe, and it wasn't like that there. But I remember Trey went in front of the barrier and was hugging his fans and talking to them. Like, he's just a completely different level of rider and athlete, and just his personality lights up the pits, and he's going to be missed. I tell you, I don't know any other rider who will ever really be able to fill the shoes of Trey Canard.
No, I was thinking as you were talking about this, like, there's not one person in or out of motocross and supercross that will ever say a bad thing about Trey Canard. He was one of those guys everybody liked. He's kind of like The Rock. And I say that because nobody hates The Rock. You can't find one person that'll ever say a bad thing about The Rock. Like, and Trey Canard's that guy. Like, you dig as deep as you want, and there's not a bad thing to say about Trey Canard. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, I feel bad to a point because, here's a guy who I think younger in his career, maybe in 250s, I think he beat Villapoto for a championship. And, like, the talent was there. It was just the injuries that followed him his whole career. He just couldn't shake them. And I feel bad because he was one of those guys. He could have been a Dungey. He could have been a Roxon. He could have been an elite level rider. And he was, but he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah. But the thing is, Trey Canard will always be Trey Canard. And there is a place in the community where, I know the level of the Dungey and Roxon, but Trey Canard is right there. Like, I remember working for a motorsports insurance company and got to see some of the, big old contracts from some of the factory Honda teams. And Trey Canard was such a valued asset for Honda for years that even though he wasn't winning championships and he wasn't always on the top of the box, I know for certain that Trey Canard actually had the biggest paycheck. He was such a valued asset because of who he was. He was such a great ambassador of the sport. He was like Mr. America. Like you said, no one would ever speak ill about Trey Canard. He was such a great representation of Honda. And it showed in, in other aspects. But he will always be at such a high level in motocross because of, his incredible speeds. He was a champion. And unfortunately, he wasn't ever crushing out championships year after year like we all know he could have. And it was unfortunate, he's been plagued with all these injuries, but he still will always be one of the best. He was always such a black horse when people knew that Trey Canard was racing the seasons and not out, those fantasy supercross leagues would just completely change because he was always, whether he was out for a whole season or not, you always knew that he was going to end up on the box one of, a handful of those rounds. He was always there. He was always a competitor, and he would always challenge somebody. You always seen him riding at his best.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to sum it up. Like he was that guy. He shows up to a race, and everybody goes, "All right, he's a threat to win." It wasn't an if. He could have been he could have been on an old bike from 3 years ago, and he'd show up, and the talent, there was just respect. He walked into a room, and he didn't have to say or do anything. There was just a respect level there, like it's Trey freaking Canard, But he wore it well too, like we said before. Nobody's going to say anything bad about him. He was just he was that guy. I know too. He's one of the few riders I think that had him and Pastrana and maybe McGrath that actually had a line from DC Shoes with like a signature shoe and T-shirt and stuff like that. So there was definitely that respect level. Yeah, but we're going to take a short break. We come back. We got Hubert and 4x4 Barbie calling into the show here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, joined on the line by our good friend, everybody's favorite redneck, Hubert Rowland. And I don't know, is 4x4 Barbie on here yet, or is she still calling in? But what's happening, Hubert?
Hey.
What's happening, buddy?
All right, we got Barbie on here.
Oh, you got Barbie. She's conferenced in.
Yeah, we're doing good up here. We're in Maryland at rained its tail off last night, about 4 inches after the Nitro show, and we're fixing to start filming for Action Figures 2, and then we got to fly back home and start getting ready for our big trip.
Yep, and it looks like we are joined by 4x4 Barbie now. How's everything happening, Pleasant?
Hey, girl.
So, welcome to the show. We're just kicking things off. We got Hubert here. We got Amy Hood, Jim Beaver, and now Pleasant Cook, a.k.a. 4x4 Barbie. But, Hubert, I got to ask you, man, you guys had that big, Amy and I were talking about it, the big Nitro show there in Annapolis last night. Travis pulling out the double backflip, man. You know, did you guys know that was coming? What was the story there? Because I didn't know that we would actually see that happen again. Seems like last time he did it, things got a little sketchy, buddy.
Yeah. Well, he's always wanted to put on a show, so he just sends me an email and says, "Hey, make sure I got a bike that'll do a double flip and make sure it's just running good." So we got a bike prepped up, and once he says that, it's probably a go no matter what's happening.
That kind of seems like it's
just wild.
Yeah, that's the theme with Travis, man. But seemed like it was pretty awesome. The show there. I'm stoked you guys got that thing kicked off. But we got to talk about this big trip with you and Pleasant. How did, first off, Hubert? We'll get to Pleasant here in a minute. But how did this thing all get put together? I mean, I think maybe a year ago, you and I were talking, and you had something in your mind you were kind of considering. But how'd this whole thing get put together?
Yeah, so I'm from the hills, Tennessee, and I grew up trail riding, and then I grew up racing. But I, always liked trail riding, just in general. And I think people in general like trail riding, no matter what it is. They just like going out and kind of exploring some trails. Well, then I got to talking to a guy that I ride razors with a little bit, and he was talking about the Transamerican Trail, and I was like, "Well, what is that?" He said, basically, it's a trail that goes from Tennessee, North Carolina state line all the way to Oregon. And it's more so known for dual sports. It's back roads, county roads, trails, all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, okay, so, how long it take? He's like, well, me and a buddy, we set it up in about 2 weeks, and we took off, and we did it in about 20 days. They run nonstop, did it. They're like, we're just going to get a U-Haul and ride back. And we're like, oh, we got to the coast, and we just rode back. And I was like, well, that'd be pretty fun doing it on a bike, but started looking into it, and I was like, well, I wonder if anybody's done it in a UTV or a razor or anything like that. And from what I could find, not really. But then I researched a little bit more, and Johnny Angel from UTV Inc., he did it in 2011. He went, basically the same path, North Carolina, Tennessee state line, all the way to the Oregon coast, which, he said it was awesome. I talked to him a little bit, and he said that, they didn't really have a whole lot of trouble. So now here we are a few years later. I said, I'm not going to go across country unless I go ocean to ocean. I'm going Forrest Gump. I'm just going to get in my razor and ride and hit water.
Going Forrest Gump, I like that.
That's awesome. So, Pleasant, let's switch to you for a second. Now, how did you get tied in with Hubert in this whole deal? I mean, I know you. He announced this, and then all of a sudden, 4x4 Barbie gets stamped on the graphic as well. So, how did you get tied? How did you guys meet up, and how did you get tied into this?
Well, I actually met Hubert at a Monster Jam show in St. Louis. And that's where we became friends. And then he contacted me about the trip, asked me to do a ride-along for a day, just kind of to come out and join the trip, but just for a day. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, hey, if you need someone else to go the whole entire trip, don't forget about me because I'm down. So then I finally got the call, and he's like, hey, if you want to be the lead female personality and show personality, that'd be great. So I was accepted, I guess.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And Hubert, I mean, I know you've been riding razors for quite some time. I mean, you've got a pretty good idea of what you need to do to these things. How modified are these razors you're taking on this trip? I know you've got a good relationship with HCR and some other brands, but what are you doing to make these things survive that whole thing? And there's no trailers? Is this a straight shot? Like you having to put extra fuel cell in, or how is this working? I mean, how modified are these things to be able to do this whole run?
So the Transamerican Trail was mapped out by a guy named Sam Carrero. He works a regular job. He goes out on his vacation days and just does mapping on his dual sport bike. He's 70-something years old. Awesome dude. So I bought all the mapping. I bought all the mapping from him, and then I had it all laminated and had the files converted to lead nav and all that kind of stuff. So basically, like, we can stay in a hotel every single night if we choose to. We're not. We're going to camp some. We're going to hotel some. We're going to do a little bit of everything. And it's laid out, you know, roughly 200 to 300 miles per day. So there are gas stops, but we are going to carry extra gas. The Polaris Razor machine is awesome as it comes. But there are a few little parts that I have seen break that are just, you know, little things that you just really can't help. So, you know, we'll do a little bit heavier ball joints, a little bit heavier lower A-arms. Mostly we need storage because we're hauling everything on these things. I don't really plan on having a chase truck. We'll have a truck that drops us off at the coast, and they'll kind of be within sail distance, you know, as they get back to Middle Tennessee where my shop is. And then we'll kind of be on our own. We'll possibly try to reach out to Pleasant's dad and see if he doesn't mind meeting us like Oklahoma area, because that's not too far from where they are. And then we're kind of all on our own again until we can bribe someone to pick us up at the Oregon coast and get us back home.
Oh, I love this. This is like my kind of trip, man. We're gonna take off. We're gonna figure this out later. Like, I love this, man.
We'll figure it out. You need to come in there. You and Amy need to come and get in this,
dude. If I got Vegas to Reno coming up.
Come to Canada.
I got Vegas to Reno coming up. But if you guys do this again next year, I am so in. You give me a heads up, and I'd love to take a Razor and do this ride with you guys. I think it'd be a blast, man. I'm all about this.
Yeah, and you guys just have to take a little bit of a minor detour and just, you know, once you get to Minnesota, North Dakota area, just drive straight up through the border and, you know, come pick me up. So.
We're going into Idaho, so that's close enough. You just got to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah. So, Pleasant, I know this weekend you were out at the Lucas race, and you took a ride in one of the race Razors there. How was that, and how did you get tied in? I mean, how much seat time do you have in Razors at this point? I know, obviously, you got a ton of off-road experience. How much time do you have in side-by-sides, and how was that ride out there at the Lucas track?
The ride was pretty fun. We just kind of went around the track, kind of looked at, just kind of got the feel of it. The most really time I had seat time in a Razor was with the Greaves that one time, just doing runs around a track, and then I'm working on getting into more. I have my own personal seat time, I guess, in Razors, riding trails and doing stuff around our area. We do like a lot of gravel road riding and stuff, so mostly I guess my seat time would just be with the Greaves.
Yeah, what have you been up to this year? I swear you are bouncing around. I think we caught up with you like 2-3 months ago, but you are, I swear, every single weekend you're at some event somewhere, man. You stay as busy as anybody I've ever seen. I mean, what's keeping you busy this currently?
I've been doing a lot with Interco lately, so I've been going to different trade shows with 4-wheel parts. I went to Safari, I went to California, I went to Texas with them. I was going to go to the one in Colorado, but I think I had a truck show that weekend. Been going to a lot of truck shows a lot lately, and then off-road events, such as like the Lucas Oil Race. Basically everything, really.
Yeah.
Been making some
Any
trips
plans to
in
jump in?
California, doing some meetings.
Do you have any plans to jump back in a monster truck anytime soon, Pleasant?
Yeah, I'm actually currently working on my full-size, trying to get the shocks all dialed in and get a new transmission for it. I need to weld a couple more bars to it, do some more with the engine for the weight distribution. Trying to get more to that and then hopefully join a tour soon. Maybe I'll see you out there, Amy.
Oh, you better believe it. Sounds good, girl.
So, Hubert, so what do you guys got cooking? You said you're filming for action figures. I know you got this Polaris Invitational happening there at Pastrana Land. So what's going down this week?
All right, so we had the Nitro show last night. We had a couple of rain delays. The fans stuck it out, and they put on an awesome show. Josh Sheeny actually threw a double flip during a flip train of bikes just going, and then there's a double flip in the middle of it, which is unreal. So we got all that done. So we got everybody here now. So the shop is getting torn all to pieces, which is irritating, but whatever. It'll all clean up. But so we got the people here. It's basically the Polaris Invitational. It's an invitation to all Nitro athletes to come out here and try to wing their best. It's mostly the airbags because you want to keep people safe. We're going to have a Razor hot lap race, and I actually reached out to Craig Scanlon. I said, "Hey, you're Mr. Polaris. You need to come out here and race this." I said, we got to handicap Travis as much as we can. We're going to blindfold him one eye, only his left hand, and line him up backwards. and maybe one of us can reach his lap time. But, Craig said he's got a lot of stuff going on with the new models coming out, so couldn't none of them make it. But we got awesome people. There's going to do a skate park event. They're going to do an airbag event with bicycle and skate. They're going to do a moto event with airbag, and then they're going to have the Razor race. So it's a 3-day pretty much free-for-all. And they're, Nitro's ponying up some prizes to their guys because whoever gets the biggest thing wins. And Travis just announced, so we have a special orange, like a blaze orange hat. It's kind of similar to a Real Tree camo that says Nitro Circus on it. So there's only 40 of these hats made. And Travis hands out this blaze orange hat to someone that does something that is just unreal badass, or if you get life flighted. So you have 2 ways to win a hat.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you leave it to Travis. Oh, I'm getting nervous. So, and I don't even. Travis, he told me when we were out at Mount Washington, him and I spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours in a motorhome talking. And he's got something he's talking about in November. He's calling it, I don't know, Razor Fest or something. Anyways, he's got something cooking in November, and he invited me out there and I guess he's going to have a bunch of people out for some kind of Razor something going on. So I thought that was what you were talking about. And I'm like, no, this is something totally different here. But he was telling me about something in November, but you're telling me about life flights and all this, and I'm already starting to see red flags. So I don't know. I'll be there for sure, but oh, man, it looks like you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
Then you're going to win the hat or what?
Yeah. The orange hat is, he just wants it to be something, work into something that where if you see someone with an orange hat, they did something badass, or they got a helicopter ride.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it's going to be. The thing in November, that's more action figures filming. It's probably kind of the last shots of the year. And I'll go ahead and say it's going to be big. I've been working on that for a couple months. And we've built kind of a couple of special razors for this, and we're going to pull out all the stops and show people what UTVs will really do.
Yeah, and that's what he was telling me.
Tell R.J. Anderson he ain't got. You tell R.J. Anderson he ain't got shit on what we're fixing to do.
Yeah, and
and
fighting words there.
No, from what Travis was telling me and what I got invited out for, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hubert, he invited me out there for that because it sounds to me like it's just going to be completely off the hook what you guys have up your sleeves. I know there's been a lot of planning going into that, and I'm excited to be out there. I need to circle back with him and figure out exact dates, but I'm definitely going to be out there for that. You don't turn an invite down to something like that, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And us and all our crap talking mentality. I mean, R.J. Anderson, awesome dude.
Yeah.
I love him. He wants to come out and do the trail ride if he can, but I'm just going to call him out. Anybody looks cool and anybody looks fast when they're by themselves on video.
Oh, heck, we got the trash talk deep today, but all right. Well, I appreciate it, Hubert. Where can people track you and Pleasant on this ride, and when does it kick off?
So we're shooting to start between August 1st and August 4th. It's kind of rough between prep and just kind of lining a few little last pieces up. Pleasant and myself are going to be posting on social media daily. We're going to try to do live feeds when we can. And we're going to run live tracking. You can either do live tracking through the Lead Nav app. It'll show me live, or we're going to do live tracking like it's going to be linked to my website, HubertTracks.com. It's Hubert, HubertTrax.com. We'll have live tracking people. We're trying to do meet and greets with Western Power Sports dealerships and Polaris dealerships. So we really want everybody to be involved. Come out, follow along if you want in your own machine, but follow at your own risk because I ain't responsible for what you tear up. And just have fun.
All right. Well, it sounds like a fun trip, man. You guys have some fun. We'll have to get you both back on after the trip to let us know how it goes.
All right.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. We're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm R.J. Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
Twister of Treasure is at Blue Water Resort and Casino for a chance to grab $2,500 in cash through August 30th.
Sundays from 3 till 5 and Wednesdays from 6 till 8 p.m. Participants are drawn for a chance to enter the Twister of Treasure money machine.
Count me in to enter the Twister of Treasure for a chance to grab the cash.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Daviante Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking off a Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And, be sure and use that coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off any class booked through Dirtfish Rally School. And, this week, man, we talked a little bit about the ARA, American Rally Association event there in New England Forest at the New England Forest Rally. Travis Pastrana coming out on top of that battle with David Higgins. A little bit of shenanigans there, but Higgins on top of Pastrana, Jeff Seahorn in that SP car rounding out the top three in the overall podium. Great to see Andrew Comrie Picard, ACP. He was back in action. He was there as well, finishing out fourth outright. Alvin Fong, Adam Kimmett, rounding out your top five. Got to give a shout-out to Ryan Millen, your two-wheel drive winner. And then we also, going down the list, had my good friend Ramana Lagaman teaming up with Chrissy Beavis. And Ramana ended up DNFing, definitely a disappointment, but he was in that pretty rad Porsche. So great to see him back in action in the American Rally Association. We also had the other national championship, Rally America. They were back in action at Rally Colorado. First time we've seen this event since, I believe, 2009. Past winners include Ken Block, Andrew Comrie Picard, and Travis Pastrana. But this weekend, outright in an SP car, it was David and Michael Brown taking the overall victory. We had Charles Surdike and Steve Biss rounding out your top three. Brad Morris, your two-wheel drive winner. And I got to give a shout-out to my friends from Dirtfish Rally School picking up a open class win. Sam Albert, Michelle Miller, They were winners there in their Class 7th outright at Raleigh, Colorado. And those are your results for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to bring you some results now from the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. They're in Wheatland, Missouri. First time they've ever raced there at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Brand new track, and I got to tell you, this thing was absolutely insane. If you follow social media, they had a jump like I've never seen in short course before. It was an over-under jump with a bridge, kind of like Supercross style. But these drivers, Hood, they were overshooting the over-under. I call it over-under, but it's got a bridge, so it's not like there's catastrophic consequences if you come up short like there is at Heydays and Terracross. But they were over jumping this thing. There was one shot, I think they jumped like 250 feet in these trucks. Like, it's just mind-blowing how far these short course trucks were going. It was very, very impressive. But, get into these results real quick. UTV results, it was Brock Heger, Dustin Nelson, Mickey Thomas in round 7. Round 8 in the UTV class, it was Brandon Arthur, Jason Weller, Dustin Nelson. Looking at your Pro Light results, it was Jarrett Brooks for General Tire taking the victory along with Brock Heger and Cole Mamer. And then round number 8 in Pro Light, it was Brandon Arthur, Haley Deegan sneaking in there, and Ryan Beat. Haley Deegan literally drove, I don't know if you saw the video online, Hood. The last lap, her truck caught on fire. Now, most people, when your truck is on fire, will pull over. Haley drove an entire lap and took a podium with her truck on fire. She pulled across the finish line, literally it bailed out of the window of the truck because the whole thing was on fire, but she drove an entire lap with the truck on fire. I don't know. You want to talk about balls this week? Goes to Haley Deegan, man. That girl, that's rad. I don't care.
Lady balls are bigger than man balls, just so you guys know. I feel like we have this natural instinct to just keep on going. But, I mean, I would not put it past her. That is one badass little girl, and she's not really so little anymore. No, it was insane. Like, you got to check out the social media. But, Yeah, I think somebody posted on Instagram. I think she did. Lucas Oil, I think, did too. But got to give a shout-out to Brian Deegan, R.J. Anderson, Jeremy McGrath, taking victories in Pro 2 and podiums. And then Pro 2 was also Jeremy McGrath, Jarrett Brooks on General Tires, and Kyle Hart. And then Pro 4, Round 7, it was Renazetter, McCachran, Bradley Morris. And rounding out your podium for round 8 was Doug Mittag, Rob McCachran, Chad Horde. Those are your results for Lucas Oil, brought to you by General Tire. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom. Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Deontay Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. This is our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, who start every Polaris Razor in the Terracross Championship. Welcome to the show, Joe Duncan. How's everything going, my friend?
Things are good, Jim Beaver. Just rolling down the road. Hi, Amy. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. I'm just rolling down the road, hitting the next meeting, and getting ready for time to get ready for Haydays. We already started loading trailers to head over to Haydays.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, today was a first, so I know Haydays is approaching because I posted the show graphic, and we had, I'll just give a shout-out to her. Her name is, she goes by Emily K. Fit, at Emily K. Fit, and she goes, hey, she's from Minnesota, and she goes, hey, are you and Amy going to be out at Haydays? And so I immediately went, all right, so we know Haydays is close when I'm starting to get Instagram messages wondering if I'm going to be at Haydays and Amy's going to be at Haydays. So there you go, Joe. So we know things are getting close, buddy.
It's that time. It's that time. They've got mowers rolling out there in the fields, and we've got some great Ziegler Caterpillar equipment coming. Already prepping some stuff over at the K2 Motorsports Race Shop. So yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah, it's definitely that time of year for sure. I'm looking at this, like I've got all kinds of calls coming into the show, and I don't even know who these people are. So it's kind of bizarre at this point. So I don't know. Got people wanting to talk to you, Joe Duncan. I don't know, but yeah. So Haydays, I know that's that's coming up real quick here. But what's what news do you have for us? When are we going to start rolling out these announcements regarding 2017 Terracross and Haydays?
Next week we'll have our first big announcement and press release coming out. And as you know, we were just at X Games, and we had a couple of really good meetings at X Games, and we have some surprise athletes that are going to be making some appearances at Terracross here, and those should be released probably in the next 2 weeks with some key partners that they're working with. So just about there, but there's one big thing that's coming up here this week, as you know, and you're going to Polaris announcements coming up. So we got to wait for Polaris to make a few announcements, and then once they get their announcements done there, we have some announcements that are going to be coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of things are on hold until these Polaris announcements drop Tuesday at the dealer show. I know Amy and I were talking about it, earlier in the show. I'm excited, man. This is like Christmas time for people in the UTV industry, and Tuesday night would be Christmas, I guess. We get to, see see what Polaris has been, wrapping and putting under the tree for the past year.
Yeah, it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, and I'm not able to make it out to the show there, but I know you and many others that will be there and sending us video and photos, and as soon as everything's released and out to the wide world web there, and everybody's getting excited. I know I'm excited to see what they have up their sleeves and what's coming out, and we got some cool stuff that'll tie in with Terracross as well.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be no fun, Joe. I've already texted with R.J. Anderson, with Joey D., with Matt Martelli, and Mitch Guthrie, and I know they're all going to be there, and so am I. So I can tell you there's going to be no fun had by anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully Mitchie's all healed up.
Oh.
Did you see his crash from last weekend at Wheatland?
Oh man, that's
I thought he was in Terracross for a second there.
Yeah, that's the thing about Terracross. Like, we have some upside down crashes, but the way the tracks are designed, I mean, we go fast, but we're not going 80 miles an hour fast, right? So we have, we roll, and you roll 2 or 3 times, but it's not some extremely high speed, rollover when you clip where it's catastrophic. 9 times out of 10, we walk away with nothing more than a bump or a bruise in Terracross, and it's a credit to the way you design the tracks and the safety on the razors. But Lucas, that crash Mitchie had, man, that thing was a high speed. It was nasty. Those are career enders. Yeah, that whole track they built there, like, I think they're going to make some adjustments before next year. I think that big jump maybe was a little too big. When you've got trucks flying 250, 300 feet, that's not exactly good when they're flat bottoming,
Wow, that was insane. What some great racing out there, though.
Yeah.
Brian Deegan, Haley Deegan out there, and Brian getting himself a win, and wow, it was really good. What a great job they did on that facility out there, and to kick it off with racing like that. Congrats to Lucas Oil and their motorsports park out there.
Yeah, it was a good deal. Amy and I were talking about it, and and she had mentioned too, like, Haley, that girl she shreds, Joe. She drove an entire lap with her truck on fire. And ended up taking a podium. I think that's just that's crazy. I mean, we saw it in Terracross. She'd never even driven a Razor before. She shows up and she put the best time down, beat all the men, beat her dad, beat everybody. Was a fast qualifier. Never been in a Razor before.
And then does a complete backflip and still almost hits the podium.
Yeah, I wish we had video of that. I'd love to get video, clip it out of the TV show or something where she does the backflip in the, I don't know, the Mystic Mangler there. It was just, it was crazy. I mean, calling that for TV, I know we were sitting there calling it, and it was just like, wow, like, I saw it happen in person, but when you can actually watch it on replay on television, it's like, oh my gosh. Girl is she never missed a beat. She just immediately on the gas, and boom, she was gone.
Yeah. I can't wait to see where her career takes her. Like, I'm like kind of sitting around waiting to see which direction she goes, because whatever she does, she's going to be successful. Like, it's and she kind of has every opportunity available and on the table for her. Like, who wouldn't want to bring Haley Deegan on board,
Yeah,
we're pretty privileged to have her on board, and obviously her dad, Brian, and racing out at Terracross, and that's pretty exciting stuff. So excited about next week. Excited about the announcements tomorrow night with the Polaris Razors and what's coming, and Yeah, super pumped for heydays coming up here, and some of the new things that are being released.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun series this year. Definitely looking forward to it. I think I don't know. Every year's fun, but I think this year, the buzz around the series. I think, especially around the heydays event, I think it's definitely going to be a good time, Joe.
Well, we haven't even made any of our big announcements yet, so that's when I think things are going to get exciting, and I'm super pumped for what's coming next week. So.
All right. Well, Joe, we got to take a break here on the show, but appreciate the time calling in, and I guess we'll have a lot to talk about next week on the show.
Sounds great, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. And see you, Joe. And we're going to take a short commercial break, and after this break, we got Ryan Millen, your 2017 American Rally Association two-wheel drive champ. He's going to be on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom, Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Daviante Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood, joined on the line by 2017 American Rally Association champ Ryan Millen. How's everything going, Ryan?
Good, thanks. How you doing, Jim?
Doing well, buddy. Doing well, man. Man, watching the shenanigans that happened up there at the New England Forest Rally, I mean, not necessarily talking two-wheel drive, but out front with Higgins and Pastrana and Gregor's jumping into the co-driver's seat and then them coming back for a win. Like, I was following along at home and my mind was just spinning. I'm like, holy crap, this is quite interesting, man. I don't know if you guys knew all this stuff was happening there in the two-wheel drive ranks out front, but holy crap, dude, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, I have to say, I really enjoyed the show watching Higgins and Travis just battle it out, and it was fun just seeing the bits of Subaru laying on the road after those guys were just hanging it out. And stage 12, they both ripped off a corner each in the same corner. They both ripped the wheel and everything off, and it was pretty cool to see Travis pull that out, and definitely cool to see Greg jump in. Yeah, it was crazy. That jump that hurt Robbie, it definitely was. It was definitely pretty wild for us, but we're not going the speeds they're going, so yeah. I can't even imagine. It was just one of those perfect conditions where it just slapped the poor co-driver.
Yeah, was that Concord Pond?
No, it wasn't. It was actually the third stage. So okay. we done Concord Pond twice, and I think they'd regraded it because I had on my notes from last year like a keep in on one of the corners on one of those because it's for a rock.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there, so I think they regraded it or something and pulled, like it was one of those big embedded rocks. So they pulled it out, and I think they'd reshaped the road or something. So I know it caught everybody out. That jump was totally new. Barry in the Fiesta, his co-driver Leon got knocked out for a couple minutes on that. So it definitely was pretty wild. Yeah. But no, it's a brutal rally. There's literally like one of the sections where it was like, it come down to like second gear because of rocks and stuff in the road. It was just so like harsh, big boulder. Like the covert had been squished, I think, from the frost heap from the previous year, so the water just ran across the road. So yeah, it was definitely it was brutal. It was like it felt rougher than last year, and then they didn't have much moisture on the road, so the roads really degraded quickly and pulled out some huge stones.
Yeah, well, and you're the guy I trust when it comes to saying rough, because my idea of rough and people in the rally community's idea of rough are not anywhere close to the same. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's so dusty. I'll be like, I don't know, and and they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm into Baja, but, and same thing with rough. They'll be like, this is brutal. And I'm like, not so bad. But when Ryan Millen tells me it's rough because you've been there and you've seen the same things I do, I go, oh, this is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's rough for our cars, certainly not rough for the big trucks, but yeah, definitely. When we're cutting tires and breaking wheels, it's definitely rough on the equipment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had dust too. I'm glad you said that. I normally have never complained about the dust. The dust is normally, like you said, used to some Baja dust. But we had some pretty heavy dust. It just lingered, and we ended up having to pass Ramana on stage. So we lost a bunch of time. Just the dust was actually really thick. It was kind of odd.
Yeah, that'd have been fun for you guys having Ramana there in two-wheel drive, him and Chrissy, huh?
Yeah, always stoked. Like it's so rad. We've had good battles with a lot of guys. We had Derek at Olympus, and he had a pretty open BRZ. We've had Cam for quite a few rallies in the Fiesta. We've had Seamus in the Escort, the 70s Escort. All these guys have some big power, so it's been pretty. It's kept us honest the whole year, so it's been fun battles, and just like I can't believe we've won 5 in a row.
Yeah,
that's like incredible considering just like what you're putting these vehicles through, and then just us leaving it so stock. Like I really have to thank Jake, who works for me, who preps the car beautifully every time. Kenny, who's just able to figure out any sort of weird problems we'd have, because it's so factory. It's got all the Toyota information TIS systems and everything. So, all that stuff of trying to get it to do what we want it to do it's gotten really tricky with, modern day cars. So, traction controls and all that sort of stuff. So, it's pretty cool. I mean, to have a, almost, we're not flawless yet, but to almost flawless year is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think people, you know what I mean? A lot of people, I don't even know how to say it. They don't realize how hard it is. It's even like, You know, it's even like Higgins, you know, a couple years ago when he won an open class, and a lot of people like, well, you know, he's got more money than everybody else. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like when you're running the speeds you guys are, like, you know, every corner, you know, you're inches away from day enders all the time, you know, and I don't think people realize how tough it is to put a string of wins like you guys, you know, put together, or, you know, I don't want to jinx anything, a perfect season or anything like that. But I mean, it's difficult, and, you know, you take competitors out, just you yourself and the car and prep. And I mean, there's so much that goes into it that people don't think about, you know?
There really is, and you know, those slight mistakes and those couple corners that are slipperier than you realize, and just that little bit of stuff you overlook prepping the car. You know, the tire that you know, if you cut a tire on a stage and then it's flat and then it rips off. You know, it's like there's so many things that go into winning a championship. It's pretty crazy. Like, I'm so thankful. We've had a really good run. I certainly have had my moments. I had a huge moment on the third stage and nearly wrote the whole car off. But our film crew, Sweatpants Media, who Andy Bell owns, they do an awesome job, and they caught it all. And I've seen the footage, and man, it makes me tingle just looking at it, because I'm like, this would have been a huge one. So I can't wait till they put that stuff out.
Yeah. So how has it been for you? I mean, this year, I know last year, Rhiannon, she's a phenomenal co-driver, and you know, and you guys tested, I think it was at the Prescott Rally, and obviously, Christina's pregnant, you know, so she couldn't go and co-drive this year. And there's a lot that goes into it. And I know you guys, you know, this whole program, you know, you guys originally started together and things like that. But, you know, and I know she kind of learned as you were learning rally, you know, stage rally and note calling, you guys worked together. I mean, how has it been this year, you switching gears? And this is no slight on Christina, because your wife's amazing, but having somebody of Rhiannon's, you know, capability in there, you know, sitting shotgun next to you.
You know, it's a mixed feeling this year, because, you know, for Christina and I, like, we got to, you know, it's a trial by fire with any relationship, you know. So for us, it really strengthened our relationship rallying together, and I really enjoyed it. So there's been a few events that, you know, it's tough not to share it with her. And this was her first one not coming to the rally, because she can't fly anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's definitely, I really enjoy doing it together. I still really want to do at least a couple rallies a year together, maybe the no pressure ones. Maybe not the nationals, but, you know, having Rhiannon in the car with all her experience, you know, she sat in World Rally cars. She's done a ton of World Rally events. And then her husband, Alex, you know, rides with Ken, you know, is Ken Block's co-driver. So the two of them, and then on top of that, the two of them do a bunch of trainings with their Oz Pro Rally. They train co-drivers and drivers. So they live it, they breathe it every single day. They work with it, and their experience just raised me so quickly. You know, we had Alex as our team manager for this weekend. So, you know, just little details and small stuff you're not thinking about, you know, they can help you so much and take you to that next level. And, you know, I don't think I'm not necessarily driving a lot faster this year. I just feel like I'm driving safer with the information that Rhiannon's, you know, telling me. So, I think, you know, one of the things my dad's always impressioned on me as I was growing up, especially in racing, is just surround yourself with good people. When you surround yourself with good people that are experienced and good, nice people you like being around, they'll take you so much further. So, you know, and I have to say that about my whole crew. Everyone's been, you know, so awesome to work with, and that's how you get here. You know, there's so much more than just the driving. There's just the whole team. That's what I enjoy the most, is building that. So yeah, seriously, so excited and thankful for this year.
Yeah. Well, and how is it for you guys? I mean, you know, you still got some rallies left, and you guys got the championship locked up. That's got to feel pretty good. You know, I know last year everything kind of went down to the wire, but you know, this year, I mean, you know, you got it locked up. Still got a rally to go. I mean, how you feeling?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think one of the coolest things is, you know, the pressure kind of comes off. So what it allows me to do is take less conservative approaches to things. You know, we can try things, try different tire compounds or groovings or different stuff on the notes. You know, this year, for example, with my notes, in the past, I've used a system that's 1 to 7 and then used halves, so like 7.5. And Rhiannon's pushed me to get away from that because it's an extra syllable for her to say.
Yeah.
So now we've tried pluses and minuses. So, you know, there's this little stuff. So, you know, we did it at Idaho, which was, you know, just a NASA event for us, not a national. So we tried it there, and then this was the first rally we implemented in. So, you know, and I can go out on stages. Like I brought a bunch of softer compound tires, the Pirelli K8. So I didn't bring a lot of them. I only brought like one set of new and a set of used, and then I brought all K6s because I figured high temperature in Maine, I'd need a bit more of a medium compound. I couldn't get away with the super softs, and I was able to get away with softs almost the whole rally. So, you know, you can just try things, take risks. You don't have to, you know, it's not a big deal if you lose time or whatever. And you know, and just even that my big moment, you know, just like I knew there was time in this corner. It's pretty blind crest, and there was a bridge, and there was a big long straightaway after it. So now I have the video. I can go back. I can watch it each year, and I know, you know, where I need to place the car. I kind of get an idea for speed. So, you know, you just try new things. The pressure's off. You relax a little more. And I find sometimes just being relaxed and having that pressure off, you know, you make less mistakes. So it's almost like you become more successful. So in some ways you can see how, you know, guys like Sebastian Loeb end up being like 9-time World Rally champions, because it's like they've got one under their belt, and that now they can try new things, and you see where that confidence builds, and I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I can agree with you more on that. Usually getting that over that hump of that first championship just allows you to know what you need to do to be there again. But, you know, when you're always chasing that first one, the pressure is so high.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, especially with you guys with this factory Toyota program, you know, it's you know, it's one of those things where I think at the end of the day, like, you know, whether Toyota's putting pressure on you or not, I'm sure you on a personal level, you feel like, man, we got to produce. You know, Toyota's spending all this money, like we've got to win a championship, regardless of whether they're telling you that or not. Like you personally, I know the way a driver thinks. You're putting pressure on yourself, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely adds the pressure, and you know, you obviously do put the pressure on yourself, and makes you want it more. But yeah, it is definitely, you know, it goes from being a hobby to a career, and you have to put that much more effort into it, and you know, it's a passion, and it's just, yeah, it's not expected, you know. There's certainly, you know, limitations for us, you know, bringing an SUV to a rally world. So I think at first it was kind of like less pressure, and then once you start winning, it starts getting more and more pressure, and but no, it's been just such a fun journey. I'm so lucky to be doing it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time, Ryan. We're short on time, but appreciate you calling in, man. Congrats on the championship, and looking forward to seeing you out at one of the rounds this year.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Day. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ryan Millen, 2017 ARA champ, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jimmy Ramey Hood here, just wrapping up with the 2017 ARA champ Ryan Millen. Always fun to have Ryan on the show, just to talk about a family legacy of athletes. His brother Reese Millen, obviously he's the guy who backflipped a truck for Red Bull on New Year's, and the family drifting, rally, Pikes Peak. They just eat, sleep, breathe racing cars. So always fun to
I just
have.
love his insight in the industry, though, as well. Like, I just feel like it's really similar to my view, and I'm sure yours as well. Like, growing up with your family and, your father and, racing with his wife. Like, I just think his view on, keeping people you love and good people around you has really helped him be as successful as he is. And I fully believe that as well, because, if it wasn't for going to the races with my mom and dad still to this day, I probably wouldn't ride dirt bikes anymore. I see so many of my friends come and go, but it's, going to the track with my dad at 28 years old, that really keeps me loving what I do and always enjoying it and, finding success, because I genuinely enjoy what I do and I love the people around me.
Yeah, he's the whole family's just phenomenal, and the utmost professionals, and what they've been able to do for motorsport in this country. And they're always innovating and coming up with something new and different all the time, both Ryan and Reese. And just been fun to be friends with them and see what they've got going on. And wish him and Christine all the best. I know they're expecting first baby here in the next month or two, so definitely be keeping tabs on them. But man, Hood, we've talked about a bunch of stuff so far. We got a couple of topics to talk about now, though. We got the world's best motorsports event. We'll get to that. But I sent you this morning, and this is a bit I don't think it was meant to be controversial, but I found it I found it very controversial. So so basically, Sports Business Journal posted in their magazine a list of basically the most engaged fans by league/federation in basically, I would say, sports, action sports, and motorsports. So pretty much anything sporting. It's got the NBA as number one. I would have never thought that. I don't ever see anybody tweeting or posting about the NBA, and I follow a lot of sports accounts. NFL, absolutely, I think they'd be at the top. I mean, the NFL has rabid fan base, but you look down, number 4, World Surf League, absolutely. I had this conversation with Matt Martelli. I think they'd be number 1. They absolutely, their online live stream pulls in millions and millions of viewers live, and people are always tweeting, Instagramming. I mean, surfing is massive on a global scale. So I totally see that happening. But, you know, I'm looking down UFC, yeah, but the first motorsport.
U.S. track and field and U.S. wrestling, really, over Lucas Oil Motocross and Monster Jam?
Yeah. Street League skateboarding.
I'll talk about this in a second. I'd like to hear your views, but I'll unleash my wrath after you.
Yeah, like I'm just going down Street League skateboarding at 9th. Skateboarding's massive as far as action sports go. But Supercross at 10th. Like, I'm just looking down. So we got Supercross at 10th. We got NASCAR at 16th behind soccer. And I'm not even a NASCAR fan, but I don't see him as that low. Yeah, U.S. track and field is at 19th. And we've got Pro Motocross at 22nd, NHRA at 22nd, Monster Jam at 24th. Like, I watch Supercross live, and I got to tell you, Twitter, there's nothing on Twitter but Supercross on a Saturday night when Supercross is racing. Like, I don't know where they're getting these, but I'm like, what in the world? I mean, what's your take on this? Unleash your wrath, Amy Hood.
Okay, well, I have to start off by saying I don't know where they had their governing, you know, statistics pulled from this, but, you know, the NBA and the NFL has 9 million Instagram followers. You know, they're talking about social media engagement, so right away I kind of looked at the individual leagues following. And NBA has a whopping like 24.2 million. And I'd like to think that's because with the NBA, they have all those TV shows on the E! Network and whatever, like Basketball Wives, Basketball Divorced Wives, Cheaters and whatever. Like, you know, I feel like the NBA and the NFL are such a mainstream culture kind of nowadays, you know, with it being on TV. I think that might be, obviously, I think actually that is probably why that their, you know, social media accounts are flooded. But as far as fan engagement, if this is supposed to be, it's called the most engaged fans by league, you know, I think you have all these kind of false fans that became fans of NBA and NFL who don't really know much about the sport in general because of TV. And let's be honest, anybody can go to an NFL game. Everybody goes to football games and might be extreme loyal fans. People who go to Supercross and Monster Jam and, you know, Pro Motocross and surfing are fans. You know, that is a completely different type of sport, I think, that have true loyal fans who know the riders, who love the sports for, you know, their entirety. And I feel like the people who go to NBA and NFL are just anybody. Anybody and anybody can go and enjoy one of those games. It's so commercialized nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with Monster Jam and Lucas Pro Motocross. So Monster Jam is kind of growing their Instagram. I've noticed in the last year alone, whoever is kind of running the Monster Jam social media is doing a really good job, you know, constant posting results, really getting to know lots of the athletes. They do, you know, flashbacks, lots of stuff about, you know, grave diggers history, and they're really, really engaged. And they talk to a lot of their fans as well. Their Instagram is growing, but they have a million followers on Facebook. Like, that's a lot. And also, if you go and click in Monster Jam, you see all of these crazy fans, you know, with their, you know, they got individual pages for all their favorite athletes. And, you know, there's so many more fan pages for Monster Jam, I find, than anything else out there. Like, the fan engagement in Monster Jam is incredible, but because the target audience in Monster Jam is this young, social, digital, you know, era. It is the digital era who are the Team Monster Jam fans. And I feel like with all these other sports, it's, you know, they have a lot of an older demographic, people who might not use social media or beyond Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and who knows what else, but Tinder or whatever. I feel like the Monster Jam culture is this really new digital era, and they're doing a really good job with integrating a lot of fan engagement in a digital element when you're at the show. What I know, though, is they need to have their coverage and their streaming abilities completely, you know, changed. Like, there is no way that you can go and watch a Monster Jam show online. And I think that kind of, that reach for the audience, for the people who are not at the show, is extremely key for fan engagement. Lucas Pro Oil and Supercross probably have the best streaming like options out there for people who can't make it to an event across the world. So I don't know. I think if you really take in the age of the fans and, the particular demographic is what should really be, shaping these type of digital fan engagements, especially if it's about social media.
Yeah, well, and I think it's too, you see, I agree with you on Monster Jam. I think that's the next step for him for sure is live streaming. Whether it be Facebook Live or using YouTube.
It's a live entertainment show.
Yeah,
it's different though because they make their money by the people and their butts in the seats at the shows, at the events, and purchasing merchandise. It's if you. And I'm trying to play both angles, right? Because I am a fan. I want to watch my friends in a Monster Jam event overseas. But I understand where they're coming from, where, they don't want these live streaming opportunities because they want people to come down to the event, not sit at home and watch. Because here's the biggest difference between NBA, NFL, and Monster Jam and, pro motocross and supercross is their experience of Monster Jam is experience completely different in real life. You will never be able to get the same experience watching it on TV unless you're sitting in the seats, can see and hear the trucks. It's just, it makes me fall in love with Monster Jam to be able to be there live and take in a live experience. It is a live entertainment show. NBA, whatever, you can watch that stuff on TV and it's probably better with all the interruptions and, breaks and whatever, Monster Jam and Supercross is a live experience that is best viewed live. So.
Yeah, well, I agree. We've seen some race series too, like Red Bull Global Rallycross is one. They've invested so much in their television package, and it's actually one of the best in motorsport that you literally have nobody that shows up to the events. You go to an event, it's a ghost town, but you watch on TV and it's phenomenal. And I think that's, therein lies the problem. But I know with social media too, with these rankings, NBA 24 million followers, and like you said, they've got TV shows on every network and reality shows and spin-off shows and all kinds of crap TV. Like, to me, I look at social media too. It's like, would you rather have 100,000 Instagram followers that kind of could care less about you and maybe engage once in a while, or would you rather have 25,000 that actively engage, like, share, comment? To me, where's the value in that? So, would you rather have 25 million like the NBA and 90% of them could care less, or would you rather have 1 million and those people are active and constantly engaging with your content? And so that's a question. What would you've got a good social media following and your people, actively engage. Would you rather have your 150,000 Instagram followers that actively engage, or would you rather be like some of these crazy Insta models and have 500,000 or 1 million and they're just looking for a bikini shot, but they never engage with you at all?
And we had this conversation off the phone,
Yeah.
Jim. We were talking, one-on-one about, the way my social media is going and just, people in the industry and how they go about managing their social media. And I try to keep I've never cared. Obviously, I want to get that blue check mark, but really, what does that blue check mark mean when yes, my social media grows, my Instagram grows, but I have these amazing fans and friends and people. I don't even consider them fans. Like, I consider these people who come on and comment. I have my girlfriend Dawn, I've never met her in real life, but she comments on every one of my posts, something nice and positive and inspiring. And I have these people that I can, go and look at my social media and expect to see and expect to, have them comment something and how they feel. And so many inboxes and direct messages on, people sharing their lives with me. And that is so meaningful. That is just, what social media should be about. It should be, for me personally, it's a place I can connect with other people around the world and leave a meaningful impression or, motivate somebody or be there to offer some advice or share my life with. And I know a lot of people say they use social media as a business, but you know what? I share who I am and my personal life online with other people so I can feel like I'm a real person to others, I don't want people to think like I'm just some athlete who does whatever. And, I share my struggles. I share my house, my building projects, everything that encompasses who I am and what I do, because that's the power of social media. You could be a real person online.
Yeah, I agree. And social media shouldn't define anybody. And if that's what your defining, life goal is to have, 1 million Instagram followers and a blue check mark, somebody, you've got problems. You need to look in the mirror and find out what really matters. But we got to take a short break. We come back. We're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, wrapping things up on another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Big shout out to Ryan Millen, 4x4 Barbie, and our friend Hubert for the call-in. And don't forget, I will be at the Polaris Razor Dealer Show. Probably be posting a lot to Instagram, probably throwing a Facebook live stream or an Instagram live at some point and showing off all the 2018 models. And I'll be doing some radio there. I think I'll just be recording some interviews, maybe a short live show, I don't know, from the floor. We'll have to see how things work out. But you can follow me on Instagram for all the details on that and when and where, some of those interviews will drop. But I don't know what's on tap for you this week, Amy.
Oh, well, this week I'm just putting in play some dates for my motocross school. So, again, keep in touch with me on social media for those. I'm heading out west. So, I'm really excited. And I got some big news, but I've been partnered with FXR Racing. They're sponsoring my motocross schools. Really excited, and we'll have more to talk about that next week with you guys.
Yeah, so you're heading out west. When you heading, not Western Canada, I mean Western U.S., when are you going to be out this direction again?
Oh, hopefully pretty soon, guys. Monster Jam's coming up shortly. But, I'm just enjoying my summers here up in Canada with the family and now teaching some motocross schools. But I'm probably going to head back west January once my season starts. California is just that place I belong. That's where my soul is. San Diego.
All right. Well, big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus, Terracross, and Blue Water Resort and Casino. I'm Jim Beaver at Jim Beaver 15 on social media. Amy is at Amy Hood 71. Don't forget to listen in to Project Action on Thursdays. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes, and use that coupon code JB Dirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. And we are going to sign off here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We'll be back next week. We'll see you guys again, for episode number 300, either next week or the week after that. So stay tuned.
Woo.